It's over. That was the front page news. The war's over. We could celebrate. And, well, I see reason to. The Chinese communist regime and what was left in the interior of China and Indonesia has fallen. Its leaders are, well, in custody and are facing charges of treason against the Republican government that we have set up in the British and Japanese dual occupation zone. And, well, that's going well. In the meantime, the national or Republican militias are heading deep into the interior and trying to wrest control from the various warlord factions that have now sprung up in the interior provinces. For now, the fleet can rest, although I fear that a shipyard problem is brewing. I don't think we have enough capacity to fit all the ships that need repairs and resupply, even if it's just a fresh coat of paint or a couple of rounds of ammunition. It does feel good, however, to know that for the first time in a few years we actually might have a chance of a long peace. The second battle of the Moluccas, along with the first battle, actually, the first battle of the Moluccas ended up being the decisive engagement. The second battle was more of a mop-up operation. What remained of the Chinese fleet is being scrapped and sold. And whatever extra ships that were near enough completion are being refit in the Republican shipyards to be used as a pseudo-defense fleet, at least for now. Some hulls that were of somewhat completion and were up to our standards have been seized, and they're going to be getting some refits done and being sent to our dominions to help them have a local defense fleet that can supplement our own. With Arabia now united under one ruler and the reopening of the holy sites, it is now back to somewhat business as usual. In celebration and as a gift for the fleet's performance, I was put up for some commendations. Or commendations. English is still hard for me. But after much denial and refusing and protests, I was effectively bullied into accepting them. Multiple orders, awards, a few valor medals, and some personal gifts from various leaders in Japanese, Korean, and around the world, from our dominions and our allies. Now that I finally have some time to rest and I can look to the future, I have a feeling we need to modernize the fleet. We're very much behind schedule. I had planned for refits to be done roughly every 10 years, especially with the fast-paced movement of technology in this modern day and age. Ships that have been serving since, well, the beginning are in need of repairs and replacements. We need more heavy cruisers, more light cruisers, better destroyers. I'm even considering building a almost torpedo boat-like destroyer class of light, fast, agile ships with enough torpedoes to make the Russian and, well, former Chinese fleets even be sick with the amount. It's more of a countermeasure, really. In the meantime, I've busied myself with finally getting back to some relaxation and rest. I've desperately needed it. Designs can wait a few weeks. We're about to have a crisis that's going to slow down the shipyards, and, well, it won't come for a couple of weeks, but I can sense it's coming. I'll prepare for it. I'll do the best I can, but the Emperor's orders were clear that I was to take time off. No exceptions, and, well, the Emperor's orders are divine, so what right do I have to refuse? But it is becoming clear to me that the world is still a bit shaky. They're still dueling it out in Europe, and by they, I mean effectively every country in Europe is beating the crap out of each other. But the alliance still remains strong, and my friends are even enjoying the time off. They were effectively stuck here for a bit, but they've all returned home. Interestingly, we've just recently purchased a license of British aircraft. I was quite amused by these creations when they first set foot in Japan. What would it be? About 10 years ago. They set foot here in Japan with a British force, and they explained the usage of these wonderful flying machines. I even got a chance to go up in one recently, a newer one solely built in Japan. We're considering starting our own Japanese aircraft manufacturers. I think they could be nice. I've actually asked one manufacturer, I believe it's Supermarine, if they could help us learn how to design seaplanes. I'd like to have them for the fleet. They can do scouting roles, but also I want search and rescue. With the recent typhoon that happened off the Philippines and slammed straight into Southeast Asia, the United States needed all the help they could get. And so did Britain, quite frankly. And, well, those float planes that they had, and what few models we had that we had purchased, ended up becoming quite useful to locate stranded villages or ships and help rescue survivors. I'd like to purchase a bunch of them, and I've already sent word up the chain of command. Although I would like a design here, I think they could be quite fun. My wife was against me going up in one of those planes, saying that I should really think about it. But I explained that, well, if I'm going to make the sailors fly in these, I should at least do it as their commanding officer. The feeling of weightlessness, almost, is quite strange. You're up in the sky, soaring like eagles and falcons. I will admit, the British pilot, knowing how much fan I was of these newfangled machines, decided to perform some maneuvers, as he called them, and quickly showed me the very, very, very impressive acrobatic ability while I was trying not to lose my lunch. I would love to learn how to fly. Although my wife is arguing that I really should just focus on staying on a boat or on the ground and not worrying myself with the air, and, well, she kind of has a point, but I think it would be quite fun. Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself, dabbling in my own personal affairs in my journal. Which I guess is kind of the purpose of it. But, well, looking at the stat sheets, I guess I'm just trying to distract myself from the upcoming crisis. I know it's going to happen, and I know that shipyard capacity is about to really hurt. Quite frankly, we just don't have enough large shipyards to support it. We have small shipyards and small ports, yes, that can handle resupplies and minor repairs, but there are quite a few ships that require major repairs, even replacements of gun barrels and the like, that we just can't do in some of the other ports. The Chinese Republican government has been very helpful in this manner and opened up some of their spare shipyards that are still undergoing massive repairs and overhauls, and said, just tell us which berths you need, we'll get them open for you. Which was very kind of President Zhu Wang. I actually thanked him personally, as, quite frankly, many of our ships needed repairs. But with peace now finally settling over Japan, I think maybe I could get used to this feeling for a while.